In December 2019, the Lord gave me a message that I delivered to some people. It was actually on December 31st. He gave me the message a little earlier than that, but I was instructed to deliver it to a room of 18 to 35-year-olds, and that was December 31st, 2019, where I said some things in relation to 2020 and the challenges of 2020. I know other prophets and prophetic people have put things out there, and there are those who have been more specific as to some of the things that would transpire in 2020. Uh, However, uh, the things that the Lord has given me, I've been honored and privileged to see these things come to pass. And the things that I said in December 2019 also are coming to pass. One of the things that I got from the Lord recently, and I just really had to take time because it's weighty, it's heavy. Um, but I believe that I'm hearing from God, and I do believe, as I said on the last couple of videos that I've put out, that God has given me a mandate, and the mandate comes out of Isaiah 58, which is to cry aloud now and spare not, and use my voice as a trumpet. And I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, I like to write. I express, for me, writing is the preferred way to publish things, but the Lord said, I want you to do both. I want the people to hear me through your voice. And so this is the next the next thing that I feel the Lord wants me to put out there. And it is heavy, guys, but you take it to heart. I believe I'm hearing from God, and you know what? If I miss God, it's fine. He's not going to beat me up. Hopefully you won't either, but these are times that are no longer coming. These are times that are here. Things that were talked about by many for years are now upon us. And just in case you hadn't figured it out, Jesus is soon to come. I'm going to keep saying it and keep saying it and keep saying it. And if you're born again, you should be saying it as well. You should be encouraging other born again believers with that statement, but also as a warning, and also as a way to evangelize to your family, your friends, whoever that don't know Jesus yet. He is indeed soon to come. And so this is a dream that I had a couple of weeks ago. And I believe it has to do with our food supply. A couple of weeks ago, I had a dream. It was a very short dream, but it was very distinct and very, very specific. I was simply in the kitchen getting ready to make myself some scrambled eggs. I had apparently already cracked one egg into a bowl and had picked up another egg in the dream and cracked it on the side of the bowl and emptied the contents into the bowl. When I did that with the second egg, the first egg was fine. When I did it with the second egg and I watched the egg, kind of just run down into the inside of the bowl, it appeared to me that something was moving around in the egg, in the yolk and such. And so I just did what anybody would do. Naturally, I went in a little closer and took a closer look with my eyes, and sure enough, there was something moving around in that second egg. As I continued to look at it, I realized that they were maggots. And kind of in shock, I just kind of stared at it for a minute, and the couple of seconds that went by that I stared at this second egg that had maggots in it, the maggots began to grow. They were really, really small initially, but there were thousands of them. And then as I continued to look at them for another 20, 30 seconds, they began to get larger. And then I woke up. I really went before the Lord and I said, God, this is heavy. One of the things that the Lord said to me, and I'll say it again, I said it on the other videos. He said that there would be a time of prophetic chaos where people would just be putting stuff out there that he has not released them to put out there, and some would do it for attention. Some would do it because they want their 15 minutes of fame or what have you. Some would do it and believe, that they're doing the right thing. But as a prophet and as prophetic people, you have to not only say what God is saying, but you got to do what he's doing, which means you got to do it when he says do it. You have to make sure that the timing is right. And if you're a prophetic person, you will probably agree with this statement that a lot of times prophets get it right, but they get the timing wrong. Well, I can tell you right now, and I hope you hear it. I keep hearing Jesus saying, he that hath an ear to hear, let him hear, guys. That's what I keep hearing in my spirit that Jesus is saying to us right now. And the Bible says he cried out, which means he didn't say it nice and soft and, and cute. He cried out. He wanted to get the attention of the people. And I'm telling you right now that it's not over. I've been saying this and I'm saying it again. It's not over. There will be highs and there will be lows over the next several months. Obviously, things will come to a particular head in November concerning the election in America, but that is not going to settle the thing. When Corona first showed up, the Lord said to me, he said, this is a war of crowns. Of course, Corona means crown. But the Lord said to me, this is a war of crowns. And the war is not over. He's waking up his church, and he's waking up his church by shaking up his church. You got to hear me what I'm saying today, because I have no other reason other than wanting to obey my Father for putting this kind of stuff out, because I know it's heavy, and I know that, I know that it may be challenging to believe, because we live in America, the most prosperous nation on the planet, pretty much. But I was sharing with Storm, I was sharing with her that, that there's a term called the normalcy bias that basically in a nutshell says that people have a hard time believing and embracing that something could happen that they've actually never seen happen in their lifetime. But I would submit to you that all we got to do is look at where we are right now. Who would have ever thought that we would be in what they call a worldwide pandemic? So take it for what it's worth. I'm going to keep sharing because someone out there will hear God. And the real question is, I'm just going to, this is a different time. So those of you who know me, I love to laugh. I love to, if you're in my circle, you know how silly I can be when it's time to be silly, but this is not a time to be silly. And so I'm putting this out there because this is what the Lord is telling me to put out there. And he has said to me to cry loud and spare not. I believe that there's going to be some kind of situation that happens with our food supply. And honestly, some of you may get some other things out of the egg dream. One egg was good. One egg was full of maggots. I believe that this is the time to prepare. I shared something a few months ago about someone had asked me, should we be stocking up now? This was several months ago. And I said to them, I'll stock up when God tells me to stock up. If he tells me to stock up, that's when I'll stock up. And I shared it from the standpoint of several years ago when we thought, we were at the end of the world and everybody started stocking up and, oh boy, we got to, and then nothing happened. And people were spending millions of dollars, I'm sure, worldwide, buying the dried fruit, and the dried goods and the MRE. I was in the military, survival. So those of you, the survival food, exactly. Thank you. And the Lord didn't tell us to do that. And I was so glad that we didn't, because that was, for some of that stuff, that was over 20 years ago. And that stuff would be sitting somewhere in our home and would be ready to expire now. So I'm glad I didn't do that. I just listened to the Lord and followed the Lord, and we came through all of that. but I'm telling you what I believe with all my heart, soul, might, and strength right now. There will be a need to have some stuff in your house. There will be a need to make a place in your house, man. And don't go crazy out of fear. Just begin to buy some canned goods. Just begin to buy some non-perishable stuff. If you believe God, if you believe that I'm hearing from God, just begin to do that. But don't go crazy, because then you're acting out of fear. And God is the great provider. He will take care of us. If he had to miraculously create for us, I believe that he would do it, because we have history with him when Jesus fed the thousands, including women and children, the thousands of men, including women and children. So if it takes that, you should have all faith that God will do that if that's what's necessary. But when you have time, when he's giving you preparation, when he's giving you warning ahead of time to prepare, then you ought to take the warning and do that. I hope I'm wrong. I'll say that as the last statement of this video. I actually hope I'm wrong. I don't believe I am. I don't believe I am. I believe that whether it's deliberate or whether, whatever the circumstances are, I believe that you probably should have some extra beyond your pantry, put up for at least a couple of months. At least a couple of months, if not a few months, if not at least a half a year or what have you. And think about it, not just for you, but for those who may not prepare properly, that you might be called to help. Okay? That's all I'll say about that right now, but I'll be back. I think it's time to prepare. Don't go crazy. Don't let fear grip your heart. God is for us, he's in us, and he's with us, and he's giving us time, because he's shaking the church. And the reason he's shaking the church is to awaken the church. So just awake. Open your eyes. Become sober-minded. And understand that God is not playing, that he's going to have a church without spot or wrinkle, whether you cooperate or not. He's going to have a church without spot or wrinkle, and this is the time to take all the slack out of our lives and begin to follow him and walk with him and be extremely obedient like you never have before. Amen. We love you. God bless you.